Good morning, friends. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The Awakening of Financial Intelligence and Emotional Freedom. The story of two fathers. A journey that changes everything. Two fathers, one choice, a life transformed. In the heart of every child, there are two kinds of voices. One says, play it safe. Do what everyone else does. The other whispers, break free. There's more to life than this. For Robert Kiyosaki, these voices didn't just echo in his mind, they took physical form. Two fathers, two paths, one destiny. One was his biological father, a highly educated man, a teacher, a government employee. The kind of man society respects. He believed in degrees, promotions, and retirement plans. He was the epitome of what we're told is the right way. The other was his best friend Mike's dad, a man with barely an 8th grade education, yet one of the richest men in Hawaii. He owned businesses, real estate, and investments. He didn't preach security, he embodied freedom. As a young boy, Robert admired both. But their beliefs about money, success, and life were completely opposite. And in those differences lay the blueprint of a revolution. Poor dad says, go to school, get good grades, and find a secure job. Rich dad says, learn how money works. Make it your servant, not your master. Imagine being 9 years old and being pulled in two directions. One of conformity, the other of courage. One rooted in fear, the other in vision. That's the choice Robert had to make. And the most haunting part? Most people never even realize they had a choice. This book isn't just about money. It's about freedom. It's about breaking the emotional patterns that keep families poor for generations. It's about reclaiming power, not just financial, but spiritual. Let's walk through this story, lesson by lesson, emotion by emotion, and awaken something within you that has been asleep for too long. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. The trap most people don't see. From the moment we're born, we're trained to chase money. Get good grades to get into a good college. Get a good degree to get a good job. Get a good job to earn a good salary. Work hard for 40 years to someday maybe enjoy retirement. But Rich Dad shattered this illusion. He asked Robert, why not make money work for you instead of you working for it all your life? This was more than financial advice. It was a spiritual shift. Poor dad lived with fear. Fear of being broke. Fear of being irresponsible. Fear of deviating from the norm. Rich dad understood something deeper. People are not controlled by money. They're controlled by their emotions about money. He explained, people's lives are forever controlled by two emotions, fear and desire. Fear of not having money keeps them working hard. Desire for more money keeps them spending what they earn. This is the trap of the rat race. Imagine a hamster wheel. That's the life of most people. They run and run, exhaust themselves, but go nowhere. Rich Dad didn't believe in just getting rich. He believed in being financially educated. He taught Robert, don't just earn money, study money. Don't just work for money, learn how money works. Don't just save, invest. This mindset wasn't about greed. It was about empowerment. When you understand money, you stop being its slave. Most people think security is safe. But security can be a prison. A salary is not freedom. It's addiction in a golden cage. When you rely on a job for survival, you surrender your choices, your power, your time. You trade your life energy for a paycheck. Robert realized something life-changing. The more you chase money, the more it escapes you. The more you learn, the more it comes looking for you. The system is not broken, it's designed to keep people obedient. Schools teach obedience, not creativity. Jobs teach dependence, not ownership. Society rewards compliance, not courage. Poor didn't know better, he did what he was taught. He wasn't evil. He was a product of fear. But Rich Dad? He dared to dream differently. This lesson hit hard. Not just financially, but emotionally. Because to adopt it, you must let go of the need to be liked, The need to feel safe. The illusion of control. It's terrifying to step into the unknown. But it's also the only path to true wealth. You can be comfortable or you can be free. But you can't be both. Here's how to start making money work for you. 1. Invest in your financial education. Read, learn, experiment. 2. Build small passive income streams. Even a few dollars a month is a beginning. 3. Don't trade time for money forever. Eventually, let assets earn for you. 4. Watch your emotions. Notice when fear or greed is controlling your decisions. Ask yourself these soul-stirring questions. Am I working because I love what I do? Or because I fear what would happen if I stopped? Do I feel confident making financial decisions? Or do I avoid them out of confusion or fear? Am I raising my children to seek jobs or to create freedom? This isn't just about changing habits. It's about changing identity. About becoming someone who commands money, not someone who is commanded by it. This was just lesson 1. Yet already, your heart might be stirring. Something in you knows this is truth. That you weren't born to survive paycheck to paycheck. That your purpose is greater than your bills. This is a calling to wake up, to rise, to rebuild your mindset from the inside out. Because you, too, have two voices within you. One says, be realistic. The other says, be free. The choice is yours. It's not about how much money you make, but how much you keep. We live in a world where income is often mistaken for wealth. A man earns $100,000 a year, but spends $105,000. A woman earns $40,000, but invests $10,000 in stocks and assets that grow quietly over time. Who's truly wealthy? Rich Dad explained it in one sentence that shattered all false beliefs. It's not how much money you make. It's how much money you keep and how hard that money works for you. Most people don't need more money. They need more financial intelligence. Because even when people win the lottery or get a raise, their spending mindset remains the same. They don't invest. They don't build. They consume. And they go back to being broke. Why? Because their financial blueprint, their emotional relationship with money, is broken. Poor Dad was an educated man, yet he struggled financially. Why? Because he never learned how money works. He didn't understand taxes. He didn't know what a balance sheet was. He didn't grasp the difference between assets and liabilities. And neither do most schools teach it. Our education system teaches people how to work for money, but not how to make money work for them. That's not just a flaw, it's a systemic failure. And millions suffer because of it. Rich Dad made it clear. Money is a language. If you don't speak it, you'll always be misunderstood and misled by those who do. Financial literacy begins with one sacred principle. Know the difference between an asset and a liability. Let's go deeper. What is an asset? An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket, whether you work or not. Examples. Rental property generating monthly income. Stocks that pay dividends. A business you own, not work for. Royalties from a book, song, or patent. Digital products or courses you sell online. These are wealth creators. They grow in value. They work while you sleep. What is a liability? A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket, even if it looks impressive. Examples. A house, yes, your own home, unless it generates income. A new car with a loan. Credit card debt. Fancy gadgets bought on EMI. Loans for things that don't produce income. Poor Dad believed his house was his greatest investment. Rich Dad disagreed. Your house is not an asset. It takes money from you every month. Taxes, maintenance, mortgage interest. It's a liability in disguise. Rich Dad taught Robert how to read and build a personal financial statement like a business. Two key components. 1. Income statement, your income versus expenses. 2. Balance sheet, your assets versus liabilities. The goal? Use your income to acquire assets. Let those assets generate more income. Then use that income to buy more assets. This is the wealth loop. This is the secret the poor and middle class never learn. Let's pause. Let's talk about pain. What happens to a man who never learned to manage money? He works harder every year. He feels more stress, not less. His debts rise as fast as his salary. His dreams shrink to fit his budget. That's not living. That's surviving. And behind it all, a silent emotion, shame. Shame of not knowing. Shame of pretending to be financially okay. Shame of not being able to give your family the life they deserve. Rich Dad believed knowledge heals that shame. Financial literacy is not about complex formulas or degrees. It's about understanding these basics. Know where your money goes each month. Track your net worth, assets minus liabilities. Stop buying things that lose value. Start building things that earn value. Here's a truth that transforms. Your net worth will never exceed your self-worth. If you believe you're only worth a paycheck, you'll never reach financial freedom. You must start seeing yourself as a creator of assets, a builder of income streams, a master of money, not its servant. And that begins with literacy. Not just numbers, but emotional literacy. Learning to say no to instant gratification. Yes to long-term rewards. 1. Track every rupee dollar spent for 30 days. Awareness is power. Write down every expense. 2. Create your personal balance sheet. List your assets, income-generating things, and liabilities, money-draining things. Face your financial truth. 3. Buy one asset this month. A small stock, a book royalty, a vending machine, anything that can eventually generate income. 4. Avoid emotional spending. Before any big purchase, ask, is this an asset or liability? And more importantly, is this my emotion talking or my vision? When we talk about assets and liabilities, it's not just finance. It's about responsibility. It's about honoring your potential. It's about saying, I refuse to pass on ignorance to my children. I will be the one who breaks the chain. You are no longer the person who avoids bank statements. You are no longer afraid of the word investment. You are becoming someone who sees every rupee as a soldier ready to work for you. And with every page, you're stepping out of survival and into sovereignty. Don't confuse your profession with your business. You might be a doctor, teacher, engineer, designer, mechanic, or artist. That's your profession, what you do to earn a living. But Rich Dad urged something deeper. You must learn to mind your own business. Your profession earns you a living, but your business builds your wealth. That's not just a shift in mindset, it's a complete rebirth. Man School Poor Dad said, work hard at your job. Be loyal to your company. Climb the ladder. Man Briefcase Rich Dad said, use your job to fuel your investments. Don't climb the ladder, own it. This was not a lesson in rebellion. It was a lesson in ownership. The emotional slavery of job dependence. Imagine this. You worked at the same job for 15 years. You show up early, work late, give it your best. But one day, a recession hits. You're laid off. And suddenly, you're worth nothing in the eyes of the system. That's the silent anxiety most employees live with every day. That's why Rich Dad warned. Never rely on a single source of income you don't control. When Robert was 25, he had a choice. Work harder at his job, or work harder on his business. He chose the latter. And what did business mean to him? It meant building his asset column. That included real estate that produced rental income, small businesses and franchises, royalties from books and intellectual property, stock investments that grew over time. This was a painful truth Rich Dad taught. You work for the company. You work for the government via taxes. You work for the bank via loans. Who's working for you? That's a gut punch. Poor Dad believed his job was his identity. Rich Dad believed his job was his tool, not his purpose. The shift from worker to wealth creator. The goal is not to quit your job recklessly. The goal is to use your job to build your business on the side. Your 9 to 5 pays the bills. Your 5 to 9 builds your freedom. Whether it's a blog that earns ad revenue, a small YouTube channel, an online course, a freelance service, an Etsy shop, an ebook, something that puts you in control, minding your business brick by brick. Rich Dad gave Robert a sacred principle. Keep your daytime job, but start buying real assets in your spare time. Let's break that down. Direct hit, what does minding your business mean? 1. Tracking your asset column weekly. 2. Growing your passive income sources. 3. Reducing unnecessary expenses that slow your asset growth. 4. Learning how money flows and using it wisely. The emotional trap, job is equal to identity. So many people wrap their identity in their job title. I'm an engineer. I'm a lawyer. I'm a manager. But what happens when they lose that job? They don't just lose income, they lose themselves. Rich Dad warned. You are not your job. You are a powerful creator. Your job is your temporary tool. Your purpose is freedom. Ask yourself, if your job ended today, would you still feel worthy? Do you have streams of income that don't depend on your boss? Are you using your evenings to build something you own? Freedom isn't given. It's created. Bit by bit. Brick by brick. Real-life examples of people who mind their own business. 1. Sarah, the school teacher. Loved teaching kids but struggled with bills. Started a small children's book series on the side. Now earns royalties every month that pay her rent. 2. Aman, the IT professional. Used weekends to learn about dividend investing. Built a stock portfolio that now gives him 15,000 rupees per month. He's still employed but no longer dependent. 3. Ravi, the mechanic. Started selling car repair videos on YouTube. Created an e-course. Now earns more passively than he did fixing cars. These are not millionaires. They are freedom builders. And they started by minding their own business. Identify a passion or skill that can become a side hustle. Writing, teaching, painting, baking, coding, investing. Set a daily or weekly freedom hour. 1 hour a day to build your own business, even if tiny. Track your asset column monthly. Add 1 new asset per quarter. Stop seeing your job as your life. See it as a platform, a launchpad, not a cage. You are not born just to work, pay bills, and die. Your job is not your destiny. Your soul craves creation, independence, and purpose. Every time you build an asset, you are honoring your potential, protecting your family's future, breaking the chains of dependency, whispering to your soul, I am free. I own this. The rich focus on building their asset columns. The poor and middle class focus on building someone else's. The single most powerful asset we all have is our mind. We are trained to believe that wealth is something outside of us. Money, gold, property. But Rich Dad taught something radical. The most valuable asset isn't in the bank. It's in your mind. That's where true wealth begins, not in your job, not in the stock market, not in real estate, but in your imagination and financial creativity. And the rich, they know how to invent money. The 2 different reactions to the same opportunity. When an opportunity knocks, most people respond with fear, not curiosity. Poor dad, that's too risky. Rich dad, let's study it. Where's the leverage? One sees danger, the other sees possibility. One shuts down, the other leans in. And this makes all the difference. Robert shares a powerful memory of watching 2 men respond to the same investment opportunity. One man immediately said, "It's too expensive. I can't afford it." The other asked, "How can I afford it?" This moment etched itself into Robert's soul. One man let his fear make the decision. The other let his brain do the work. The rich are not fearless. They've just trained themselves to respond to fear with strategy instead of surrender. It doesn't mean printing counterfeit bills or gambling wildly. It means using knowledge, creativity, timing, courage, to create something out of nothing. Here's what that looks like in real life. Real examples of money invention. 1. Flipping real estate. Buy an undervalued house. Add small upgrades. Sell at a higher price. Profit. Invented. 2. Stock market arbitrage. Understand short-term volatility. Buy low, sell high within a cycle. Profit from timing, not luck. 3. Information products. Create a course or ebook. Use digital platforms to sell it infinitely. Profit from a one-time creation. Each of these starts with an idea, not capital. Why most people never invent money? They've been trained to think, I'm not smart enough. I need money to make money. It's too complicated. But here's what they're really saying. I'm afraid to fail. I'm afraid to look foolish. I'm afraid to lose. Fear, not lack of intelligence, kills wealth. Rich Dad once told Robert, most people fail to become rich because they fear losing money more than they desire gaining it. Build your confidence to invent money. You don't need to be born a genius. You need to learn how to learn financially. Start with reading investment books, listening to financial podcasts, practicing with simulations or small investments, surrounding yourself with financially savvy people. Knowledge builds confidence. Confidence allows action. Action builds assets. You must believe that your mind is capable of creating wealth even when the world doubts you. Your ideas matter. Your brain is not just for consuming, it's for creating. The moment you realize this, something powerful shifts inside you. You begin to see opportunities instead of problems. Think leverage instead of labor. Create paths instead of waiting for permission. You stop being a worker. You become a creator. Ask yourself, when was the last time I had an idea but didn't act on it? What do I believe about money that's holding me back? Am I using my full creative power? Or am I hiding behind fear? These questions can be uncomfortable, but they're necessary for transformation. Rich Dad emphasized a balanced formula. Invest first in education, then in experience. Don't wait to feel ready. Take small, intelligent risks. Try investing 500 rupees in a stock and tracking its movement. Creating a digital product and putting it on a platform. Starting a blog or YouTube channel about something you love. These actions exercise your financial muscles. They turn ideas into income. Robert's first real success came not from a job, but from a decision to act on what he'd learned. He started buying small real estate deals. He failed a few times. He made mistakes, but he also started winning. Each deal was a classroom. Each win built his confidence. Each loss taught him precision. He wasn't waiting for money. He was inventing it. Observe problems in daily life. Every pain point is a potential product. Think, what do people complain about often? Turn knowledge into income. What do you know that others might pay to learn? Package it into a course, coaching call, or video guide. Partner with people who have what you don't. You have time? Find someone with money. You have a product idea? Find someone with marketing skills. Start small, scale fast. Don't wait for perfection. Launch, learn, improve. It's about money alone. It's about identity. You're not a financial victim. You are a creative force. You can build. You can sell. You can invent. And when you do, something divine awakens. Self-respect, confidence, vision, power. This is wealth beyond money. The more skills you master, the more doors you unlock. Robert Kiyosaki had a restless heart. He didn't want to just get a good job and retire. He wanted freedom, understanding, and growth. But his poor dad couldn't understand that hunger. Poor dad said, go to school, get a secure job, stay loyal. Rich dad said, use your jobs like a university. Don't stay for money, stay for skills. This lesson became the turning point in Robert's life. Most people chase money. Very few chase mastery. Poor dad thought, get a high-paying job in one field. Specialize. Be safe. But rich dad thought, Learn how to sell. Learn how to lead. Learn how to manage people and money. To Rich Dad, diverse skills were more powerful than a high salary. He believed sales gives you income. Leadership gives you leverage. Financial knowledge gives you freedom. People cling to their jobs out of fear. Fear of rejection, uncertainty, losing what they have. But Rich Dad pointed out, the only real security is in what you know, not what you earn. And what you know can't be taken away. So, the strategy is simple. Use every job to learn something that makes you more powerful. At one point, Robert took a job at Xerox. Not because he loved it, but because he wanted to learn how to sell. He hated the job at first. He struggled. He faced rejection after rejection. But Rich Dad encouraged him to stay. Not for the paycheck, but to develop the skill that would make him rich for life. The ability to sell anything. Eventually, Robert became one of the top salespeople. That skill later helped him raise capital, sell his books, negotiate deals, build companies. It was never about the paycheck. It was about the power he earned. Rich Dad taught, don't ask what a job pays. Ask what it teaches. If you want financial freedom, ask yourself, am I learning communication? Am I learning leadership? Am I learning negotiation? Am I learning about systems, money, or marketing? If not, you're not growing, you're stagnating. When you see every job as a learning ground, something incredible happens. You stop being scared of jobs. You don't fear being fired. You don't feel trapped. You don't feel like a slave to money. You feel in control. Because you're there by choice, not fear. This is emotional mastery. Why most people work in loops? Let's look at a common cycle. 1. Get a job for money. 2. Buy liabilities to feel successful. 3. Get stuck in debt. 4. Become afraid of losing the job. 5. Stop growing. 6. Stay forever. This is what Rich Dad called the rat race. The only way out? Stop working just to earn. Start working to learn. Rich Dad believed there were 3 essential skills for lifelong wealth. 1. Sales and marketing. If you can't sell, you can't grow. Everything in life is sales. Selling ideas, products, yourself. 2. People management. Learn how to manage and motivate people. Build teams, not just companies. 3. Financial literacy. Understand how money works. Learn how to read numbers, spot trends, use leverage. We will talk about few real-life stories, from workers to winners. 1. Neha, the software engineer, left her IT job temporarily to work at a startup's marketing team. Everyone thought she was wasting her degree. Today, she runs her own SaaS product thanks to her marketing skills. 2. Ramesh, the retail clerk, took free online courses on accounting during breaks. Eventually joined a small business as their finance manager. Now runs his own firm helping small shops manage money. These people grew not because they earned a lot early, but because they learned deliberately. Choose jobs that stretch you. Don't just go for comfort. Choose roles that teach you something new: leadership, tech, marketing, finance. Become a lifelong learner. Read books. Take online courses. Attend webinars and workshops. Volunteer for roles outside your expertise. Public speaking at work? Managing a team? Budget planning? Say yes, even if you're afraid. That's where growth is hiding. We often think of success as climbing a ladder. But Rich Dad believed success is expanding your mind and spirit until money chases you, not the other way around. When you commit to learning, your fear of poverty shrinks. Your confidence expands. Your opportunities multiply. You stop saying, I hope I don't lose my job. You start saying, I can create a job if I want to. That's real power. Old mindset, poor dad. Work for money. Specialize. Be safe. New mindset, rich dad. Work to learn. Diversify. Be dangerous. The job is not the end. It's the means. Your real wealth is in your skill stack. Frequently use powerful affirmations. I grow stronger with every new skill I learn. I use jobs as stepping stones, not as chains. The more I learn, the more I earn. I am building a skill set that money can't ignore. The final truth: financial freedom is a mindset, not a destination. After walking through the wisdom of Rich Dad Poor Dad, one message stands clear. True wealth is born in your mind first, then it flows into your life. It's not about luck, inheritance, or even a high income. It's about how you think, learn, and act. Poor Dad represents the voice inside many of us. The safe path, the fear of risk, the trap of working for money. Rich Dad embodies the mindset we must grow into: learning financial literacy, taking calculated risks, inventing money, and most importantly, believing in our ability to create wealth. Both voices live within us. The choice is ours. Which one will we listen to? Money is emotional. It can breed fear or freedom. It can chain us to stress or open doors to peace. It can create scarcity or abundance. When Robert learned to control his emotions around money, his entire life transformed. And so can yours. No one starts as a financial wizard. The richest people in the world began with small steps: a book read, a skill learned, a deal made. What matters is starting and committing to growth every day. The tools you now have: financial education, knowledge is power. Never stop learning. Emotional mastery, understand your fears and doubts and face them head on. Creative mindset, use your imagination to invent opportunities. Skill building, work to learn, not just earn. With these tools, your path becomes clear. Take action now. Here's what you can do today. Assess your financial knowledge honestly. Commit to learning one new money skill this month. Begin tracking your income and expenses carefully. Identify one asset you can acquire or create. Change one limiting belief about money to an empowering one. Your future self will thank you. Remember, Robert's journey started from confusion, fear, and mistakes. He stumbled many times. He doubted himself. But he kept going, and so can you. Financial freedom is not just for the lucky or the privileged. It's for the brave, the curious, the persistent. The richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for work. Build your network of knowledge, people, and courage. You have the power to rewrite your story. Your financial destiny isn't fixed. It's in your hands. Go forth with courage, wisdom, and heart. Your freedom awaits. Type in the comment box, "I am rich." Thank you, universe. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel for more life learning videos.